Today I'm going to talk about letting go of emotional baggage. When we want to heal from physical, mental, and emotional pain, we have to understand the mind, body, and emotion connection. We all carry around emotional baggage to some extent, obviously. Some people more than others, depending on each person's life experiences. What does carrying emotional baggage actually mean? This is all the crap, stress, anxiety, fear, and negative, painful emotions that we have consciously or subconsciously suppressed. Unprocessed, painful emotions or trauma. When we live our lives from a place of stuck emotional pain, trauma, holding on to guilt or shame, we live our lives in a state of resistance, stress, and fear. This place enables us to live a happy and healthy life. What happens is that we adapt to negative coping behavior by suppressing, denying, and resisting our own painful thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We continue to live our lives in negative patterns, going in loops. Being stuck in repeating life patterns increases our risk of mental, emotional, and physical distress. Hanging on to suppressed and unprocessed emotional pain and negative thought patterns increases our lack of ability to mentally and emotionally cope and recover from crises that arise in our lives. Scientific research has proved over and over again that 90% of all illnesses and disease are emotionally stress related. In today's world, we focus on every problem that comes up with stress and worry. Worrying about what happened yesterday, what will happen tomorrow, next week, and beyond. This is living from a place of resistance, full of mental and emotional pain, repressed trauma, stress, and fear. Our body and mind and emotions are always in collaboration when it comes to how we feel physically. Our thoughts and emotions affect the way our body feels. Therefore, the way our body feels affects our thoughts and emotions. We live in a law of attraction, vibration-based universe. Whether we believe it or not, it is true. Everything in existence has its own vibrational energy frequency. Just like the dial on a radio, and I'm sure you've heard this before, each station has its own frequency. Our thoughts are things. They hold a vibrational energy. Different thoughts, such as sad versus happy, hold their own vibrational frequency signature. Our emotions are energy, and each emotion vibrates on its own signature frequency. Guilt and fear hold a different vibration than the emotion of happiness and love. If we are stuck in a state of anger or frustration and broadcasting that out to the universe mirrors it right back to us. When we find ourselves reliving the same personal relationships in different places with different faces, but always ending up in pain and suffering. This actually means we hold a trapped past emotional pain or trauma in our subconscious mind. We could be holding on to emotional pain of unworthiness, guilt, or shame, feeling like we don't deserve a supportive, loving relationship. Past stuck emotional pain and trauma can, in fact, manifest as mental, emotional, and physical illness and disease in the body. In other words, what we resist, we persist. The longer we push down, deny, and suppress past emotional pain, the more we suffer in life. Here are a few simple examples of the mind-body emotion connection. Have you ever noticed on a day when you're enjoying yourself, you're spending time doing what you love, you're hanging out with family and friends, you're just having a great day, You're smiling and laughing, feeling full of happiness and joy. Do you remember how good your body felt that day? Even if you have an illness or disease, your body just felt better. You had a great day and you don't even know why, but you were just happy. Okay, here's another example, except in the other direction. Now, take a moment and reflect back on a day of some type of issue, problem, a big stressful situation arose up in your life. That something that happened was on a loop in your mind. You talked about it to anyone who would listen. Your stress level was through the roof, and your shoulders and body was just all tensed up. You may experience your head was just pounding. You had aches and pains throughout your joints and muscles, and maybe both. You couldn't sleep, right? Sucks, right? We've all been there. Everyone has been in that situation, and more than once. Suffer from an illness or disease, your symptoms flared up, or your health may have took a deep dive and deteriorated even more. And as a result, we blamed our suffering and our problems. We blamed it on others or the pressing life situation at hand for our emotional and physical upheaval. Now, what if I told you this is not the case at all, causing your mental, emotional, and physical upheaval? We suffer because of the way we respond to the issues, problems, or unwanted situations that come up in our life. We need to become aware of negative emotions when they arise. We need to take a moment and be aware of what's happening in our thoughts, our emotions, and how they feel in our bodies. Our thoughts are focused on the problems, full of negative thought patterns. Our brains are just flooding our bodies with high doses of stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline, putting us in the fight, flight, or freeze mode. Our subconscious mind is trying to protect us when stress triggers are in full-blown mode. But the problem is subconscious mind is always referring back to our past emotional pain and trauma that we have experienced. The subconscious mind is like looking into a memory warehouse and trying to find solutions, but it can't. Our subconscious mind reacts to the now mental and emotional state from past subconscious perspectives. We don't have awareness of this. As a result, we don't have control over our mind, our emotions, our energy body. Therefore, we suffer. When we become aware of our thoughts, emotions, and how they affect us physically, we can make changes. First, we need to accept what is, the reality of where we are right now, no matter the situation. We cannot change what has already happened. We have to accept what is before we can move forward. By learning how to sit and feel our emotions fully, acknowledge them as true and valid without judgment, we can let them go. From this perspective, we can clearly see how our thoughts and emotional patterns affect all areas of our lives. A very important first step. We cannot change what has happened in our life. It is what it is. We need to accept what is. The what ifs, focusing here will not change what has happened or how it happened. Accepting what is, you need to ask yourself, can I accept that? We lose our energy because we will not face and accept what is, where we are at the present moment. We place all of our energy on fighting with resistance. Where our focus goes, energy flows. Focus is on what shouldn't have happened. How could I prevented this from happening? Blaming others for what happened. You must accept what has happened in our lives so you can move on from where you are. Letting go of the losses that are not lost. Letting go of the losses that are not lost. We cannot change the outcome of that which has happened. We must accept, heal, and move on. Under the layer of resisting of what has happened has made us feel freaking horrible. And not accepting what has happened to you is not wanting to accept how you feel. Everything that shows up in a negative form in our life is where our resistance lies. When we live our lives from a place of stress, anxiety, and fear, this is the energy we are sending out to the universe. The universe mirrors the same type of energy right back to us. It shows up in our lives through negative situations that we do not want. Our lives reflect exactly the frequency signature we are emitting from our being. Most of us have heard the saying, when it rains, it pours. This was one of my parents' favorite sayings when things begin to show up in their life, one thing after another. Think about that for a moment. What energetic signals were they sending out to the universe? What were they receiving back? More issues to deal with, more problems, more stress. They were a perfect match to the vibrational frequency they were sending out and receiving through their thoughts, emotions, and voice. When I started meditation, learning to be meditative, it was the most powerful way to calm my overthinking mind and to gain awareness of my mind, body, and emotion connection. We can learn to take control of our thoughts and emotions instead of them controlling us. Meditation helps us to process the stressors in life and the emotional pain that comes with it. We learn to become more balanced in our thoughts and emotions. Life is always going to throw us curveballs. There's no way around it. But we can stop holding on to the negative thought loops, the negative emotional energy by processing it in a healthy manner. We learn to accept what is so in our lives. Meditation brings relief to our active mind and emotions. From this place, we gain awareness, peace, and strength to let go, heal, and move forward. Yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi are all methods to learn to live a balanced life. These practices align our physical, mental, and emotional body energies. They are all forms of meditation also. The yoga poses unblock and open our chakras so the energy can flow with ease. The breath work during each pose brings our mind focus to the present moment. As with Qigong, these movement meditations are strengthening our mind, body, emotions, and life energies to enhance one's life. Balancing our mental, physical, emotional, and life energies to create the life we truly desire on purpose and less by default. I hope this video helps you. Take care.